The HomePod is coming out later on this week, and I know that there are certain people who are just going to buy it because it's an Apple thing, and that's totally cool. Fine, yeah, whatever. But there are some options out there that are less expensive, probably less aesthetically pleasing if you like something that looks like a suppository. I want to give you some options here today, so that's what I'm going to do. $125, $200, and $300 HomePod alternatives. Hey there, friends on YouTube. My name is Jason, sometimes known as the JTL. This is Painfully Honest Tech, tech so honest it hurts. And today I am going to talk to you about alternative music and I guess voice assistant solutions that don't cost $350 and aren't made by Apple, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. Everybody thinks I'm an Apple hater, but it is absolutely not the case. I am doing this recording on an iMac that I just bought this year. I got all kinds of Apple stuff, to put it in a short and sweet way. I don't hate Apple. I hate the way they insult their customers with their pricing and their BS that their stuff is better than everybody else or revolutionary or magical or whatever. Okay, rant over. What I'm going to do today in this quick video is show you some options that you can consider in lower price ranges to get possibly as good, if not better, sound. But it's not an apples to apples comparison, no, pun intended. These are options that you can get that will give you all the functionality that Apple's HomePod will not have in its launch form, and they offer stereo, which I don't care what you say, stereo, like a 2.0 sound system, is always better than some little thing on your table that fakes it. That's just my opinion. I haven't heard the HomePod yet. I will be reviewing it, so maybe Apple will somehow magically change my mind, but this has been my experience over the 30+ years that I have been into audio, as I have been for so long. So without further ado, let's jump over to my split screen. This is my Kit homepage, and what I do on Kit is I take products that I've liked or that I've used, or groups of products that would work well together, and I make these lists, and then you can go buy them on Amazon. Now, I should say straight out of the gate that none of this stuff that I'm recommending here is the end-all be-all of stuff. There are other things out there that you can go and mix and match and get something that you might like better. There are better speakers out there that cost more money. There are more reasonably priced speakers that still sound pretty good. These are baseline setups that you can use to get yourself some great sounding home audio without necessarily having to spend the $350. So you see here, I've got $125, I've got $200, I've got $300 HomePod alternatives. So let's start out with the $125. What I selected here are these Dayton Audio B652 speakers. Now, the good thing about Dayton Audio, they make great standalone speakers that you can use in kits. They make really nice stuff, and it's really, really affordable. These speakers, let's view on Amazon. These speakers cost $40 plus some shipping because they're not prime, but they cost $40. 4.5 stars after 755 reviews. So I don't think 755 people are tuneless and can't hear. They are good speakers and definitely worth your time for a very reasonable price. So over here we have the Leppa Amplifier. I have one of these. I've had it for several years, and I have it hooked up to a set of speakers that I built myself. They're called the Overnight Sensations by a speaker designer named Paul Carmody, and I'm amazed at how good this sounds. This is a Class D amplifier. It's got plenty of power to drive those speakers, and I really enjoy it. How much is it? It's $23. You might be thinking there's no way that this stuff can be worth listening to, but I am here to tell you, I honestly am here to tell you that this stuff is excellent and highly worth your time. And all for the price of $125. What else do we have here? We have some 16-gauge speaker wire. This is a 50-foot spool. Amazon Basics. I'm not a big believer in like expensive cables, especially when you're trying to cut costs and get something good for the least amount of money possible. Amazon's 16-gauge is how much? So it's $8.49, which is ridiculously reasonable. And then I recommend the Amazon Echo Dot, and not necessarily because it's Siri, or not Siri, not necessarily because it's Alexa. That's a bonus. I don't use it necessarily for Alexa. It has what I like about it is it's very small. It has a 3.5 millimeter output that I can then plug into the Leppa Amplifier, which I'll show you. See, you have to have, there you go. Plug the 3.5 millimeter from the Echo, sorry, into this 3.5 millimeter jack, and then you are good to go. And the nice thing is you can then talk to Alexa and say, Alexa, play Metallica, or, you know, Alexa, what time is it? So basically you're getting a lot of the functionality of the HomePod here for a lot less money. And again, I think the Echo Dot is sort of the sleeper Echo product because it can integrate into other things really easily and just be a tiny little hub that you can use to control things. So as much as the HomePod is all integrated, yes, I get it, all integrated, and as much as the HomePod is very sexy looking, etc., you can get this whole kit right here. Oh, and I didn't mention the 3.5 millimeter cable, but that's a couple of dollars. I'm a big fan of the Amazon Basics products. I've found that they are pretty good in general, and I imagine they're of good quality because Amazon can order in such quantities that they don't have to worry. So for $125, you can buy all this on Amazon and get yourself a really good sounding speaker system that will do everything that the HomePod will do, including voice activated voice assistant stuff. So if you don't have $350 or you're not necessarily interested in the HomePod, this is a great opportunity. So if $125 seems ridiculously cheap to you, then let's go over here and look at the $200 version. Now, all of the things in the $200 version are basically the same as the $100 version, except for a couple of upgrades. And those upgrades are this Dayton Audio Class T digital amplifier, which is really small and really good sounding. I mean, it's a step up in many, many ways from the Leppa amp. It's better built. It has, you know, a headphone jack output. It's got all the things that you need, and it's of a little bit better quality. So I recommend this as a step up from the Leppa amplifier. But there are many, many small amplifiers out there that are equally as worthy as this. Again, I'm giving you guys this stuff as a basic starting point where you can then use, you know, sort of mix and match or look around, you know, because you've got all kinds of different things that are suggested here. And so I would recommend shopping around, but these are my ideas for where to start. And then there's also these Dayton Audio B652 Air speakers, same size as the ones that we were looking at before, but they are about $68, $67.75 with Prime shipping. And the thing about these is that their tweeter design is slightly different. You see, they have what's called a ribbon tweeter. And this ribbon tweeter is a more efficient way of outputting the top end of the spectrum, and it makes for a cleaner, clearer sound compared to just a standard dome tweeter. So these things are definitely a step up from the Daytons that we looked at in the previous kit, but not absolutely necessary to get great sound. I mean, you can look here. They haven't been out as long, so they've only got 100+ reviews, but they still got 5 stars. So I would totally recommend checking these out if you're willing to go to the step up level at $200. And you're still less than $150 less than what you would be looking at for the HomePod. And again, here's the speaker cable. This is all the same stuff, and the Echo to get the same kind of stuff that we were talking about before in terms of voice assistant and, bringing all of your apps and everything together. You can trigger Spotify with this. You can trigger just about anything. Alexa doesn't work quite as well with everything as Google Home products do, and definitely not as well as what we're going to look at next, but it is very good, and you can connect all of your devices via Bluetooth. You can just say, Alexa, pair, and then from there, she'll put herself into pairing mode. You go on your smartphone, whatever, you link with Alexa, and then from that point on, you don't have to do anything but say, Alexa, pair Jason's V20 or whatever, and she will do it automatically, and you can then go ahead and listen to whatever you want to listen to. So that is crazy, crazy good. When you think about how annoying it is to pair Bluetooth devices, especially when you have multiple devices paired to your Bluetooth stuff. Like I have several devices paired to my Alexa, my Echo Dot, and I can just tell her which one I want, and then she puts it together. And then I can stream anything from my device, Apple Music, Spotify, whatever I want to do, all straight from the device, and she'll just play it right through the speakers. It's a brilliant thing. So this is the $200 kit. It is definitely huge bang for your buck, and if you're looking for a really good home audio setup for not very much money, then this is where to go. So let's look now at the final kit that I put together as an alternative for the HomePod. And again, this comes in $50 less. This is the first version of the Sonos Play 1, and there's a new edition out that has Alexa built in, and they're a little bit more expensive, but Sonos is, at this moment, Sonos is selling a pair of those for $350. So, you get one HomePod, or you get 2 Sonos Play 1s, and you can get this kit, which is the originals, for $300. Here's the thing that I like about Sonos. It does sound really good. Again, I come back to the idea that stereo is always better than mono, no matter what the software is doing. And so with the Sonos stuff, you can pair these in the app as a stereo pair, and you can set them up and they will sound really, really good. I've had this set up before, and I could live with 2 Sonos Play 1s in stereo as my listening experience for just casual sit down on the couch and enjoy some music. These things are fantastic. They have an app where it pulls in all of the streaming services. So for me, it would be like Apple Music, Spotify. I think it's still, it didn't do Audible for a while, but I think it does again now. Pandora's there. It's got all kinds of other stuff. So I highly recommend the Sonos Play 1s in a stereo pair. If you don't care about stereo and you just want something that you can play some music throughout the house, you can link these together and listen to music in separate rooms. You can listen to the same music in multiple rooms, or you can listen to different music in multiple rooms. And it's just, they've been doing this for years, and their stuff is high quality. I am not, if you don't already know, generally a huge fan of all-in-one listening experience like products, because they cut too many corners in terms of like actual sound quality. By and large, Sonos, in my experience, is the exception to that rule. So here at $300, you can get something that I definitely guarantee will challenge the HomePod for audio supremacy. And it does more than the HomePod does at the moment of its launch, and it sounds really, really good. If you want to jump over to my kit page, it's kit.com/painfullyhonesttech. I've got some different kits on the page. I've got gaming headsets. I've got my studio set up. I've got a whole list that is these lists of what to buy for a HomePod. I've got video, gear, everything else, but it's kit.com/painfullyhonesttech. If you use the links to go on to Amazon or anywhere else to purchase any of these things, I do get a little bit of an affiliate kickback, and that does really help me out, because any money that I make on Amazon, I put back into the channel by getting gift cards instead of actual money, and then just buying products that I can then review on the channel. So anything that you do through Kit or through the Amazon affiliate links that I have on the videos, always great. Let me know what you think about this down in the comments below. Do you think that this is a viable option instead of something like the HomePod? I mean, I know it definitely is. Some people say, oh, it's too complicated, but really, you're connecting 4 wires, and that includes 3.5mm cable, 2 speaker cables, and plugging something in. So it's not that hard to do. It really isn't. I know that hi-fi stereo stuff is not as prominent as it once was, but now these options are so easy, so simple, and sound so good that you really owe it to yourself to consider this if you're on the fence about a HomePod or another all-in-one solution for music listening. Let me know what you think down in the comments. Let me know if you have any questions. I'm happy to help people mix and match and put things together, because I'm a big fan and an enthusiast of this kind of stuff, and I would really love to be able to help. So thank you so much for watching this. I look forward to the comments down below. And so now I'm gonna get out of here. My name's Jason, sometimes known as the JTL. This has been Painfully Honest Tech. Tech so honest it hurts. Until the next time, I am out.